Expand yourself. Take yourself out your comfort zone. If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. Success is not a comfortable procedure. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful. Now, like I was telling you before, if you want to be ordinary, you ain't even got to listen to me. Just go on about your business. But if you are sitting in this room and you have extraordinary aspirations, then you're going to have to do extra. It's no other way. I'm sorry. You have to decide if you are willing to do the things to put you in that category. Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. The Bible says, he who loves to sleep and the folding of hands, poverty will set upon you like a thief in the night. I'm going to ask you one question, I'm going to go. How many of you in here know somebody who loves to sleep? Let me ask you something. Ain't they poor?
I want you to max out your life. I want you to max out your business. You got to get a little bit more intense. You got to stop being so dadgum casual. If you're going to play the game, let's play to win it. Every single day has to be a pursuit to get better because you are ultimately chasing the destiny version of you. Do you hear me on that? Say yes. You're obsessed with what other people think about you. The thing that's going to kill your dream is your addiction to other people's approval.
Do you have the courage to act outwardly on what you see inwardly? Do you have the courage? It takes courage to be successful. It is far easier not to be successful. It takes courage to be exceptional. It takes courage to be rich. It takes courage to be knowledgeable. And I'm just wondering, in this reality TV world we live in today, I'm wondering if there's anybody left that's got the courage to say, after all I've been through, I didn't come through all of that just to fit in with normalcy. It takes courage to be different. It takes courage to get you outside of the box. It takes courage to win. Do you have the courage to stand there though the storms keep raging? Do you have the courage?
It takes courage to act. It takes courage to start over again. Somebody said that courage is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. When you have something you want to do, if you don't develop the courage, life will move on you.
Courage. Ambition requires courage. Ambition requires that you fight off fear. Fear is one of those things, one of those emotions that can stop people dead in their tracks, foregoing success and achievement. Fear can rear its ugly head in many ways. Remember the old saying? You have nothing to fear but fear itself. You can be afraid of looking ridiculous. You can be afraid of change. You can be afraid of the competition. You can be afraid of loss and destruction. We're not always born with courage. We're not always born with all the fears either. Maybe some of your fears are brought on by your own experiences, by what someone has told you. Now, some fears are valid, like walking alone in a bad part of town at 2 a.m. If there isn't fear, there's probably a bit of ignorance. Once you learn to avoid that situation, you won't need to live in fear of it. Fears, even the most basic ones, can totally destroy our ambitions. Fear is an enemy. And let me tell you about some of the other enemies we face. One of the enemies that you've got to destroy before it destroys you is indifference. Drifting away from your ambitions. You can't drift your way to the top of the mountain. Next one, an enemy inside all of us, indecision. The thief of opportunity. It'll steal your chances for a better future. Take sword to this enemy. Next enemy on the inside is doubt. You can't believe everything, but you can't let doubt take over. Doubt the past and doubt the future and doubt the possibilities and doubt the opportunities. I'm telling you, it'll destroy your life and destroy your chances and empty your bank account and empty your heart. Get rid of it. Next is worry. We've all got to be alarmed, but we don't want to be conquered. 3 o'clock in the morning, your daughter's not home yet. You've got to worry. But you can't let worry loose like a mad dog that drives you into a small corner. Drive them into a small corner. Whatever's pushing on you, you've got to push back. Guess where illness is in your life? Illness is constantly testing the outer edges of your health plan. And if illness can find a weak spot, it'll muscle in and take the territory. Unless you've got enough discipline and power to say, I'm going to fight illness like an enemy. The next enemy inside is overcaution, the timid approach to life. And if you let it go and go and go, it'll conquer you. Timid people don't get promoted. They don't advance and grow and become powerful in the marketplace. Do battle with the enemy. Build your courage to fight what's holding you back. Do battle. Have the courage to fight back. Here are a few techniques to help build your courage. Number 1, put all remote possibilities out of your mind. Don't spend your time thinking about all the bad things that might happen to you. Courageous people don't worry about the unlikely, things out of their control. They concentrate on what they can control. Number 2, make a list of the worst that could happen, and you'll probably see that it's not so bad after all. Once you face your fear, you can move on. And if you've looked at the possibilities beforehand, you'll probably never be faced with the situation at all. And by contemplating what might happen, you'll chart your course to make sure that it doesn't. And the third technique to build your courage is to imagine the alternative. See in your mind the end result of giving into your fear. Then really feel the gain of following your ambition courageously. Weigh the two. See the difference. Once again, it's your choice. Be fueled by your fears or face your fears.
Decide to live your fantasy. The choice is in your hands, satisfaction or despair. Decide not to make your life predictable. You don't get much juice and happiness out of life like that. Want to create a greater sense of fulfillment? Challenge your fears. Don't allow them to rule you.
You have this kind of convoluted, limiting belief about why you can't do something right now that's your own BS story you keep telling yourself. How about you just decide it's a lie, even if it is true?
Listen, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great.
Right now, are you in fear? Right now. Every moment of your life you're in fear? No.
You will overcome that fear. But the hard part is, you gotta take that first step.
I am deeply motivated by fear.
The fear, by the way, is not a conspiracy. That shit is real. Everybody like, oh, fear ain't real. Yeah, well, it's easy for you to say you ain't got any this second.
You face your fears, you become the person you want to be.
To create fear, you have to use excessive imagination.
There's a lot of fear, but I understand what the emotion of fear is. It's a subconscious trigger that causes this feeling that I don't like. And it's a go signal for me, not a stop signal for me.
Everybody doesn't win. And the sooner you wake up to that biology is ruthless, man, then you get a little fear in. And when you get a little fear in you, you start listening. Because if you're truly afraid, you listen. Let a little fear come in and drive you and motivate you.
My first time I talked, I literally went up and blanked out.
If you're afraid of pull-ups, do pull-ups. If you're in squats, do squats. If you're afraid of public speaking, go speak in public.
Face your fear. It's hard. It's an uphill battle, but I know you can do it. Whatever it is that you want to do right now in your life, you've been sitting on the fence waiting, doubting yourself because you are letting fear control you, just do it. You ain't going to be nowhere until you start taking the first step. Fear is always going to be there. Give yourself the power, and the more you face your fears, the more powerful you become. Champions are made in these moments.
Because it took me 2 years to get over the fear. It took me 2 years to get over the anxiety. It took me 2 years to finally say, Goliath, here I come.
Always something. You will never ever have a problem-free moment in life.
Goliath, you might be taller than me. You might be bigger than me. You might be stronger than me, but I'm coming.
Working on yourself, watching that inner dialogue, it will determine the quality of your life.
But I want you to know tonight that we will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
I'd rather give everything I got. I'd rather put in work, and I'd rather die trying.
So your fear is always about that which does not exist.
Fear. False evidence appearing real.
Being afraid of something that has not yet happened and may never happen, based on past thoughts, beliefs, and conditioning. Throughout this world, there lives only two kinds of people. Those who have conquered their fears and those who are living their fears. Those who are living their fears and those who are living their dreams because they had the courage to take on their fears.
What is the #1 killer of dreams? What do you think is the #1 reason the majority fail to live a life they love? What is the #1 reason why people fail to succeed at any level? It's not luck. It's not lack of money or opportunity. It's certainly not circumstance. It's fear.
Fear is the greatest killer of dreams that ever roamed planet Earth. Fear is that voice inside you that says you can't. The voice that gets louder and stronger every time you listen. Every time you let fear dictate your decision, fear grows stronger. Fear grows bigger. Fear is the voice of average. The voice of the settler.
Fear must die. Fear will die.
The only way you can change is to step right into your fear.
You must step right into fear. You must sum up all the courage inside you and do the thing you fear most.
Failure may come. Your greatest fears may be realized. And that is why you go in with the attitude that you will do whatever it takes to conquer that fear.
No matter how many times I fail, no matter how many times I feel rejected, embarrassed, down, out, I will not give up. I will keep at it until my greatest fear dies. I will stand toe-to-toe with fear. Fear will die. My largest fear carries my greatest growth. I will never let my fears decide my fate. I am bigger than any fear. Fear has no place within my heart.
Fear has no place within your heart. Fear is conditioned into us from a young age. Many don't pay attention to the stages of fear. Be careful. You can't do that. Play it safe. These consistent fearful thoughts add up, live inside us, and form our psychology, which for most turns into inaction. For most turns into average. For most turns into settling for a life they aren't passionate about living.
Fear will die. It's time to take back control.
So how do we overcome our fears? Find something that is more painful than your fear. If you have a fear of failure that's stopping you from going all out and achieving at a high level, a more painful thought might be disappointing your family, or the thought of your kids seeing you settle for a life you don't want and knowing they will follow in your footsteps. Maybe a greater pain would be the thought of getting to the end of your life and knowing you never really lived. You just existed. You got by. I need you to really feel that pain. Think about it. Feel a deep emotional connection to the pain. Write down why you won't settle for that pain anymore. Write down why you must conquer this fear once and for all. Why you must. What would be worse than your fear? We say it all the time. What is your reason? You have to have a strong enough reason why you must. They say if you have a strong enough why, the how will come, the results will come.
Why must you do this?
Be more fearful of what it will cost you if you don't do it. Be more fearful of the impact it will have on your future if you don't take action. Be more fearful of how it will impact the lives of your loved ones if you don't take action. What will it cost you? What about if you do face it? What about if you do conquer it? How will it improve your life? Who else will benefit?
Fear will not stop me if my desire to win is strong enough. Fear will not stop me. Now I am in charge. I live without fear. I fear nothing but a mediocre life. I fear nothing but an average existence. I fear nothing but an unlived life. I choose to live free from fear. Now I am in charge. I am in charge. Freedom! What would you do if you had no fear of failure? Why are you waiting?
Your current skill set has already taken you as far as it's going to take you. If you don't put yourself on a path to learn and very aggressively, where you are now is where you'll be in 5 years. The key is crossing that chasm of skill set.
We're all afraid of not reaching our potential, of never becoming the person we know we were meant to be. We fear being left behind at our job. We fear never being worthy of love. We fear being stupid or emotionally weak. We fear not having enough followers and friends. We fear waking up one morning and realizing our best is already behind us. Or worse, our best was never very good to begin with.
Remember, you're an adaptation machine. Your job is to place yourself under stress and then force yourself to grow. So back to Mr. Yoked, you don't get those muscles by looking at the weights. You get those muscles by going under the weight and not stopping when it hurts. You stop when you can no longer recruit the muscles enough to move the weight. That's when you're done. Your job is to push yourself to the limit of what you think you're capable of and then go past that. And when you're able to push yourself past that, when you're able to get into the Goggins reps, as I call it, when you're able to exist in that zone, long past where it started hurting, long past when it got boring, long past when you were terrified that you'd never be able to do it, that's when you'll begin to adapt because you're telling your body, adapt or die. That's how you're going to get where you want to go.
Nobody wins the Nobel Peace Prize or writes a bestseller or even lifts a barbell at the gym without feeling hopelessly incapable at some point. The reason they feel incapable? Because they are. The skills that they've developed do not yet match up with the skills they need to be successful. What separates these people that achieve these seemingly impossible goals is that they do not see their incapabilities as obstacles. They see them as opportunities.
How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to achieve greatness? How bad do you want to achieve your greatness? Because let me tell you something, it is inside of you. It is inside of me. It is inside of every single person watching this video right here, right now. You do not understand just how great you can be because you are letting other people infiltrate your thoughts, your dreams, your goals. When is enough going to be enough? When are you going to get passionate about attacking your goals? You are either the predator or the prey. You are either getting up every single day trying to survive, or you're getting up every day ready to hunt. You have to hunt down your dreams, hunt down your goals, and when it's time for you to dig deep and start hunting even harder is when people keep doubting you. Because there are going to be doubters, there's going to be naysayers, and your job is to not prove them wrong like I thought, but prove that you're right about you. Once I decided to stop compromising my beliefs, my values, my visions, my goals for anybody else, is where I found true happiness. That's where I unlocked my greatness. That's where you can take control and take back your life. When are you going to say enough is enough and stop allowing somebody's thoughts of you be your reality? Stop allowing people to come into your zone, your world, and take control. Enough's enough. I'm sick and tired of it. When are you going to be sick and tired of it? Every time I run into obstacles, I embrace them. I've learned to accept failure not as a stumbling block, not as a dead end, but more as a step. Failure is a step to my success, a step to my greatness. Every time I fail, I'm going to pick up and take something positive from it. It might hurt. It might burn me up inside, but I know that it's going to set me up for success. I want to be in shape. I want to be the best athlete, the best fighter, the best father, the best person that I can be. Then it's no sacrificing or shortcutting greatness. I got to make an effort to be just as better. I got to practice what I preach. I'm going to focus on the one person that I can control and I can make happy, and that is me. If you want it, then go and get it. Don't wait till everything is perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. Your greatness will never be perfect. Some of the greatest minds, the greatest thinkers, the greatest innovators were looked at as crazy. They weren't ready for their greatness. They just took a leap of faith. Jump and grow wings on your way down. You have greatness inside of you. Now it's your time, it's your turn, it's your due diligence to share it with the world.
How do you find the strength to keep pushing through when everything in your life is so messed up?
I know some of you are there, in the darkness. But trust me when I say there is always hope. And quickly and aggressively remind yourself that you are alive.
You're broken. You're battered. You're torn apart on the inside. What do you do when your heart stops, but you're still alive?
Hey there, welcome to my channel based Strong Motivation. Today I speak Be Fearless 2024. Outside the bar, cause to stand there though the storms keep raging. You have the trance. It takes courage to act. It takes courage to start overacting. Somebody said that courage is going from failure to failure without showing when you have something you want to do. If you don't develop the course, life will move on you. And course and ambition requires course. Ambition requires that you flight of fear is one of those emotions that can stop people dead. Success and achievement. Fear can rear its ugly head in many ways to fear, but fear itself, you can be afraid of looking rebellious. You can afraid change competition. You can be afraid distraction. We are not always be born with cause. We are not. Maybe some of your fears are brought on by your own experience and has told you. Now some fears are valid, like go alone each morning if there is not fair bit of ignorance. Once you learn to avoid that situation, you don't need the life. Basic ones can totally destroy.
Everything I have ever done in my life, I didn't want to do. Everything, every day, I am a lazy pitch off, and I am one of the hard work people that every step foot on this planet Earth. And I am saying that every predicted because I know what I do. It's no cookie. I will tell you I am stupid, and I will also tell you the exact opposite of what I have done. It's the truth. It is the truth. So imagine how much I have developed in that time frame. But this is so surely thing why most people don't want to do that bullshit. That willpower is because this certainly in unlooks a variable bunch of think about who you are and who you are not, and a lot of people don't want to go down that journey to discover who they are and who they not cause it is not a pretty January. I mean, I have gone down it. It's not like I went down it one. I go down it all the time. And when you unlucky that, and you can't just turn it off, like people say, hey, how come you haven't repented yet? I build it all that this willpower. Do you think it's going to let me just return because my kidneys hurt? It's telling me every morning. I wake up like, man, I don't, my kidneys hurt, my legs.